This video has been classified as MA. It is not suitable for people under 15 years.
Good game.
Hey, Stump. If I don't make it, give this to my ex-wife.
It has been important for us since day one in the design process to define what Medal of Honor multiplayer is. And Medal of Honor as a franchise has always been about telling the soldier's story. And we wanted multiplayer to start from the same kind of foundation. So early 2 years or so ago, we sat down with the tier 1 operatives that we work with and just talked to them hours and hours and just listening to them, what they do, what their job is like. And then multiplayer ideas started to form from there. One thing that happened early was that they talked highly about the international tier 1 operators they met while deployed. And we're an international dev team. I felt like that is really, really cool. So we actually have 12 different operators to choose from now in the game. It's the American Navy SEALs, of course, but also the Swedish SOG, and I'm happy to say the Australian SASR.
Good on you, mate.
The Australian primary role is light infantry, armed with a carbine, very fast moving, access to flashbangs and so on for those kind of violent room entries. As the game progresses, you unlock new classes for you to play with your Australians. You can play an SASR sniper or an SASR spec op once you get there. We're working on Frostbite 2. It does a lot of things really well. It gives us the tools to make the game look fantastic and sound fantastic. Destruction is also a big part of it. Another thing that we don't talk as much about is how it provides us with a stable platform to playtest on very early in the process. So we had daily playtests with Medal of Honor for almost 2 years now, which allowed us to add a lot more features to kind of the core gameplay experience while still making sure they're balanced. So for instance, we have 6 classes in multiplayer now as opposed to 3 in the previous game. They all have their unique abilities and support actions and weapon systems, and they even differ in features like run speed. I think all in all there are over 30 different abilities and gadgets for you to explore. It's everything from grenade launchers, fully automatic ones, to tripwire booby traps, to flyable player controlled Apache gunship helicopters. In multiplayer, we're trying to keep our battles organized with strong choke points, etc. So we don't allow you to take down walls and kind of create new routes. But we have what we call micro-destruction, which lets you like ship off parts of walls when you hit them and you shoot through barriers of wood and so on to give you that feeling that your gun is really, really powerful.
There's so much like ambient effects going on that I'm just like, I don't even know if that's coming from my gun, from someone else's gun.
Our audio team has been working really hard to capture all sounds and get them in the game. We've had some massive shoots where the entire audio team went out into the desert for 3 days and just fired guns. They had microphones placed miles away from the weapon that was being fired to get that kind of sound, and then they had mics used closer and closer to the weapon, and I think the mic that was closest to the weapon was actually taped onto it. And after that was done, guns make a different sound in urban environments. So we actually rented the Warner Bros. Backlot in LA and had a similar recording pass in there where we get the proper reverb of sound kind of bouncing through the walls. One of the things that changes how core combat works in multiplayer is the feature we call fire teams. Fight teams also came after discussions with the operators. We saw how they worked in pairs. The Navy SEALs call this swim buddies. And we wanted to have the same game in-game. So basically it's us putting cooperative gameplay inside multiplayer. It's pairing you with a friend, and working together you will access to perks like more ammunition, better intel, and we also let you respawn on your buddy when you go down. We have internal playtests every day. That's how we kind of make multiplayer. We play it a lot and then we gather and then we figure out what do we do next? What do we need to do to make this more fun? And it's become increasingly more and more competitive the more we played with. We had a playtest last week with QA facing the artist team in our new game mode called Home Run. It's more competitive kind of focus to that game mode, and they're still arguing who really won and who really cheated in there.
I like the slow-mo straight afterwards that gives you a chance to kind of like watch if your friend gets the kill.
Features like laser painting, calling in airstrikes, calling in the drivable Apache helicopter I mentioned earlier, are all part of what we call score chains. We are rewarding you for getting a lot of points within the same life. For instance, if you take objectives, shoot bad guys, hand out ammunition to your fighting buddy, you just stack up score. And that's how you get access to these support actions. Whenever you get access to a next tier, you get to choose if you want the offensive one, being most often something that goes boom and creates a hole somewhere, or the defensive one, which is more focused on intel and ammo replenishments, etc. We got feedback on the last title that the players wanted a more coherent experience between single player and multiplayer. They learned how some mechanics worked in single player and expected the same in multiplayer. So we decided to make it all during the same team under the same roof at the Danger Close Studios. It was a great opportunity to finally make multiplayer together with the guys who've been here for a very long time. We still have people on the team who were here making the first Medal of Honor game some 15 years ago, and that has been a great honor and a lot of fun.
Solid shooting, creature. Good work.
We actually talked quite a lot about doing a World War I shooter, me and my friends. Can't say anything, have anything concrete right now, but I think it's a really interesting setting, and there are a lot of things there that aren't really fully explored yet.